Greetings. Welcome to another broadcast of I Have a Testimony. I'm your host, Brother Willie Muhammad.
God came to us to seek and to save that which was lost. He raised a man from among us.
He, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, laid the foundation. What I'm doing is something that comes from him through me, and the thing that he uses in me to do the work is my faith in him and the word that he taught. To produce men and women who wanted to clean up their life and build an independent nation for the glory of God.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. Today, we're blessed to have with us a brother who I consider to be one of the cultural barriers here in the city of New Orleans with the Black masking Indian tradition, which is known to some as Mardi Gras Indians. The Black masking Indian tradition goes back centuries here in the city of New Orleans. Some historians say that the tradition began when Blacks who were celebrating Mardi Gras wanted to show appreciation to the Native American tribes who provided refuge to our African ancestors who escaped during slavery.
Well, this tradition that we call the Indian tradition is basically about the indigenous people here, in the connection with the people who are already here indigenous, as well as the Africans that came to New Orleans during the transatlantic, the indigenous folk who actually assisted them in hiding them through the period of slavery during that time. And the way that we pay homage to those folk is to create this tradition that we call a masking Indian tradition. This is a tradition that we have always done. In our culture, we've always worn feathers, and we've always had a system of beating that can go back many, many years. So it's just mainly our Black Carnival traditions of New Orleans.
Mardi Gras morning, I represent the nine.
The name Mardi Gras Indian was really given to us. A lot of times we didn't refer to ourselves as Mardi Gras Indians. But what we do is a street culture, is a neighborhood culture. And it was really about each tribe or gang or nation representing a particular neighborhood. So, when you're paying homage to something, it should never be easy. So we came up with a system where we take a year-long process and hand bead and hand sew these suits. So on Carnival Day, we come out and mask these suits that we spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of money creating. And what we would do is we would war against other tribes, and we would play like war games, and we would meet other tribes, and you would see the interaction of pretty much displaying some of the work that you have tirelessly done the whole year. And the unique thing about the tradition is there's no self-proclaimed winners of those particular war games. It's really the crowd that pretty much judges the, who actually have done the work. And your street credibility is based on the amount of time and the amount of work that you put into actually hand sewing these suits. A lot of times we come up with our own ideas, we come up with our own theme, and, you're creating these suits all year, but what you realize is on Carnival Day, when you walk out that door, there's a lot of people out there waiting for you. So basically, you get a brief understanding immediately that this culture doesn't really belong to you. It belongs to the communities, and it belongs to the people.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brother, and thank you for accepting this invitation to be the guest on the show.
Alaikum salam. Appreciate you inviting me, Minister. It's everything right now.
Yes, sir. So first, before we get into the history of the masking Indians and your involvement, and before you start telling us about your suit, can you first tell us just a little bit about yourself? Because there's a lot of people who are going to be watching this. I know you, but they don't know you. Just who are you?
My name is Horace Anderson. I'm 48 years old. I'm born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm Spy Boy. I'm the first Spy Boy of the Creole Wild West. We are the first incorporated tribe. We're the oldest and active. I've been with them
For a long time.
25, 30 years. I graduated. Went to Booker T. Washington here. I reside in the Uptown neighborhood where I'm at right now.
Yes, sir. And let me ask you this. You talked about, we talked about the history of the masking Indians in the opening. Can you share with us, with the audience, how important is the Black masking Indian tradition to Mardi Gras and to the city of New Orleans?
Oh man, it is very important, especially in the time that we're living in right now. It is important. I think it is very important now because everybody who's masking, including myself, of conscious, are very conscious and aware of what are we sowing these days. And like we used to, well, at one time for me, I used to sow a lot of red men, a lot of Indians, natives, and thanking them and honoring them for the things that they did to help my forefathers through slavery times, and which was cool. And just nowadays is it important because everybody are watching and everybody are looking, even our own people. And I just think it is very important to honor our people now. I mean, we just gotta start honoring our people. Like, we honor everybody, and we tell everybody's story. And it's cool, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just to the point to where it's now in the Black community in New Orleans. I mean, we got to do for self and start honoring our own people and telling that story that we all familiar with.
And that's true. And how did you begin to start participating in the masking Indian tradition?
Well, my dad masked with the Wild Magnolia when he first started coming to New Orleans. Wound up, meeting my mom. She went to massing. All my sons, I have 6 kids. I have 5 boys, 1 girl, and 4 of my kids done masked. 2 of them masked now. One of them are in here right now getting his suit repaired by another brother from the Nation Abdul as we speak right now. So, but just like, 1974, the year I was born, my parents had a suit ready for me to go. My son who's in here now, I was just speaking about, he was born in 2015, and in 2015 we had a suit ready for him to go. He's now the youngest to ever do it at 2 weeks old.
And you were saying about your dad was initially from St. Rose and he came to the city?
Yeah, but New Rose, Louisiana. Okay. And he originated from there. Some men know as that Punkapee Parish.
Okay. Now you mentioned in your one of your earlier responses, and I had researched this, that your tribe is regarded as being the first tribe, the Creole Wild West, that was founded in something that I read in the 1880s by B-Cat Baptiste, according to the legendary Tootie Montana. So can you tell us more about the history of your tribe?
Yes. The history of our tribe is correct. It was, and from the 1800s with Baptiste, but a lot of that history is is here and there. But the history that I do relate to my kids is started with me with the under Big Chief Walter Cooks when I joined the Creole Wild West, and he was the Big Chief of the Creole Wild West in 1969 up until recently, like 4 years ago. Now we have a younger Big Chief named Terrence Mitchell right now, and Elsa Burns, the Big Queen. And both of those, they grew up just right along with me inside of the Creole Wild West. The vision that you see now of the Creole Wild West is the vision that was installed by 4 to 5 gentlemen before any one of us was probably even born.
Wow. And now, many people marvel at the beauty of the beauty and the color of the suits that are displayed during Mardi Gras and on St. Joseph Day, which is taking place, inshallah, this coming Sunday. But many outside of New Orleans are not aware that these suits are worked on for at least a year. Can you talk about the level of artistry that goes into these suits and the large amount of time that is invested?
Yeah. Like this suit here. This suit here been in the minds of my parents, especially my dad. This suit have been in the minds and talked in the mouths of my brothers, my family for years. So just look at it like this. I'm 48 and I've been hearing about this suit in my blood, in my father's mind, in mouth, and it never came out. So I look at it like I got 48. This suit, it took 48 years to come out.
Wow.
And I had to do it within 1 year, not 2. Like some, had the chance because of the pandemic. Unfortunately, Minister, I had to work during the pandemic. Them bills were still coming. So, and hats off to those who didn't have to work, but I had to work, Minister.
And now we're talking about the suit, because I remember when you hit me up on social media, you was like, man, I have the idea for this suit, brother. I was like, man, if God put it on your heart, because you wanted to do a suit honoring Master Farrakhan Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and more. So I would like you to talk to us about that. And before you get into talking about the suit, you talk about your father. You said that your father came down and how you all became acquainted with Islam.
My dad is from, like I said, from New Rose, Louisiana. Some call it Ponca Parish, right outside of St. Francisville. And as the story goes, from my grandmother, Frances Edward, which is my dad's mom, she said that one day they in New Rose, they was outside doing what they normally do, and a brother came strolling up the road. Brother had on a suit and tie, was ready. And, they hadn't seen that from a black man being that clean. And my grandmother said her dad, walked along the guy and was like, in her words, they never saw a Negro like that walking through that parish. And so they questioned the brother. And brother said that he was going to the penitentiary in Angola to get a brother. And she said that my grandfather, my great grandfather was like, that nigga was crazy. You ain't going to get nobody. I'll make a long story short, that brother came back with that brother. See, they were going back to Chicago with that brother. He came back with that brother unscratched. From that moment there, my grandfather, my great grandfather, and my grandmother, they wanted to know who was Master Farrakhan. And from there, my dad, my great grandfather had got some teachings from somebody out of Baton Rouge, and that led, my dad to coming to New Orleans, and he used to drive a cab, and he ran into some brothers. They're from Mile 16, I think. Was on Dry Street, if I'm correct. But anyway, they linked up, and all praise to Allah. I mean, my dad found Islam. My dad got, everything was good. It was good. And like I said, that's what brought on this suit.
Now let's talk about that suit. So let's talk about how you decided to design it. So you said it's really like an idea that was hatched 48 years ago, right? So you can talk about what made you do so, and even just talk about the suit, the colors, the images, what you have.
What happened was after my incarceration stint, and I came back home into the culture, and I had witnessed with my own eyes, in which I was already hearing things, in the street, that the culture was changing. And you had guys like who I idolized, Victor Harris, Big Chief Fayaya, and also Otto Dejin, Samuel Hardhead's Big Chief. They were doing something different. Big Chief Fayaya, Victor Harris, what he did do today, he does the African theme. Everything he do with this culture, with these suits, he build them for our people, for honoring our people. And as I went on to see the Big Chief from the Samuel Hardhead, Otto Dejin, and I just was curious, and I'm like, say, man, why y'all got them brown Indians on y'all? And it was like right here. Like, but his was brown. And he was like, he said, man, they got, they had black Indians, we were black, He was like, man, we got to honor our people. So, as a couple of years went on and I went to talking to other people, and dude asked me a question. He was like, man, if the culture would go that way, who would you honor? And the first thing come to my mind was, Elijah Muhammad. That's, him, then Big Duck, that's protocol, what I'm saying, in my life. And it was like, well, you should do a suit for Big Duck. Now, Big Duck, all due respect, that was my second church. And I didn't ask the guy why he didn't go with the first one I said, Elijah Muhammad. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. But, like I said, the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, this suit going to take longer than that to do. And my wife was just like, nah, we're going to do this suit this year. And I got the drawings and we went to doing it. And it came out the way it came out, all praise to the Lord. But this suit is very emotional for me, and especially for my family. Like this weekend here, Super Sunday St. Joe, one of my sister, my nephew, who from New Roads, but he, living in Dallas, haven't been to New Orleans in years, but have never seen the black masculines. Now he know this exists in the family, but he never, seen it up in person. So he's coming in for the first time to see it. He's gonna be with me, inshallah, Saturday and Sunday to witness it.
Peace be to Allah. And inshallah, man, I'm gonna come out there and check you out after our mosque meeting ends as well.
Please,
to come and support you. So we're coming up on our first break, my brother, and then we're gonna come back and then we'll get into more questions. For those who are watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We'll be back to talk to our brother Horace, Spy Boy Anderson, as he talks about the New Orleans black masking Indian tradition and that special suit that he did honoring Master Farrakhan Muhammad, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Peace.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App NNV News.
AsiaticMinds.com. Online education, helping our children to discover their God-given skills, gifts, talents, and passion that will allow them to see their greatness, as well as the greatness of our people. And upon discovering that greatness, infusing them with the desire to use it for the betterment of themselves, their families, our people, and the world. 2022 through 23 enrollment waiting list open now. Visit AsiaticMinds.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
Thank you for tuning in to NNV News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Follow us on social media at NNV News, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, National Network View. This is Clifton Muhammad with NNVnews.com.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. We're here to continue our interview with our brother Horace Spyboy Anderson of the Wild Creole West Black Indian Masking Tribe. And I want to ask you this next question. For those who have never experienced, the tribes or that have no knowledge of it, can you explain to them the structure of each tribe and what typically happens on a Mardi Gras day or when the tribes come out?
Well, typically we'll come out at 6 a.m. in the morning. I mean, the history of it used to be, earlier than that, 4, 5 in the morning. Even some come out at 6 now. Me, I ain't gonna lie, brother. I'm going with the new part of it. I'm going with the youngsters on this, man. I'm coming out after 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I got kids. I can't get dressed that fast. My dear in early, but the structure of it, you have the first person in the tribe is the spy boy, which is me. My job is to always be ahead of the tribe, leading the tribe, looking for other tribes to meet with, making sure we, like today, it's really a traffic thing, getting us through traffic, through neighborhoods. We always just really looking for other Indians to meet. We travel the back streets. To me, that's where the beauty at. Just to see that old lady in that door. You only see her during Mardi Gras time. And the person behind the next person up is the flag boy. His job is we don't communicate during when we out in the streets, when we parade. We don't communicate by mouth. We communicate by signals. I'll give the flag boy a signal like that to let him know, we going right or we going left. He'll do the same thing. He'll put his flag up because he got a big old flag in his hand, and he'll put his up in the back high enough for the chief to see it. And once chief see it, then he'll put up one of his sticks. Normally he have 2 sticks, and you'll see, whichever one going up, and it'll tell you which way to go. So, and you also have a big queen. Her job is keep a lot of peace and a lot of beauty and rawness into what we doing. But the big chief, he's like the imam. I mean, like the minister. He's the leader. We all follow him. We all try to make sure he's the prettiest of us all. Make sure, his costume is always the best amongst us, always probably the biggest. And from there, we kind of roll, we just, like we said in New Orleans, we roll, we walk from here to 6 walk, which is in New Orleans, everything is close by. So I would say in time, maybe on an average day, maybe a 25-minute walk, maybe a 30-minute walk at best. But with those costumes, you're talking about a 15-minute walk. I mean, I can make that 15-minute walk a 4-hour road. And I mean, it'd be a beautiful, beautiful road.
Wow. Another thing that I admire about the masking Indian tradition is the emphasis that is placed on involving the youth and passing the tradition down to the youth. Can you talk about that? Why that is so important and how you all do it?
Well, I consider myself, we got what we call culture kids. And I'm a culture kid. Culture kids, we are those who were born in the culture, whose parents was in this culture, who people who got at least 40, 50 years in this culture consistently with masking Indian or either second line in somebody's social and pleasure club. So for me, in Islam, I was always taught, and my dad always preached that. He said when the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, peace be upon him, he said when the Prophet died, he said the Prophet told the congregation, told everybody he leave him 2 things. He leave him the Holy Quran and Sunnah. And my dad used to always say, he said, true. He said, son, I'm gonna leave you two things. He said, I'm gonna leave you the Nation of Islam, and I'm gonna leave you the culture, and you should be good. And I'll be the first to admit, I was good. I was good. I mean, I knew right from wrong, and I still deviated. So that was on me. But my daddy gave me the Nation of Islam and the culture. That's what I'm trying to make sure my children get. I mean, those brothers, a few brothers who know me, like Peter Muhammad, who I speak to every day, it's the same thing, you know. Man, we need a Nation of Islam school uptown. We need a school like ASAP.
Yes, sir. And now when we look at this too, you know, we live in a city of New Orleans that is plagued with gun violence. And at one point, you know, the black masking Indian tradition, back in the days, they used to have some violent interaction. I remember my parents growing up, no, you can't go see the Indians because they be cutting up. But that has changed. It went from that to now peaceful, competitive as it relates to the artistry and things like that. You know, what caused that change from went from being kind of hostile to now is more family and more just about the culture and the art?
Well, guys got it was a few guys that decided that those who always wanted to, you know, fight, those guys got together and told a few other guys, hey, we're not gonna even much meet them no more. So let them fight amongst each other. So they got tired of that. And Tootie Montana and Monk Boudreaux said right now today, the only Indians that fight is those raggedy Indians, what we call those who didn't put no time into it. They just overnighted, and you could see how, you know, it was done overnight in a terrible way to honor someone, is to do something overnight in our world.
Before we end, I want to ask you this because, you know, it is for people from the city of New Orleans to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan honored first time on a black mask and Indian suit is so significant. You know, from your perspective, why are the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan so important to our people and just to overall humanity?
Simple. That's the only way out for us right now. I mean, that is it. We tried every other plan. We tried every other plan. We didn't roll with everybody else. You know, as my sister said, man, Patty come with them pies and y'all went crazy, man. And we've been doing them bean pies for years, trying to get the shell out of that. Let's shell out the bean. Here you Negroes go with that pie. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like that. But the soup was like I said, you know, the soup. It was like when I saw Brother Peter Muhammad a few years back, right before the pandemic. I didn't know who that brother was. I knew of him. You know, I knew he was with the nation, you know, but I didn't know him. And I saw a picture, and I never get. I woke my wife up. I said, man, giving me the chills talking about it. I woke my wife up. I said, man, I seen the brother with a suit on, and the brother had that flag. She said, man, don't start that Nation of Islam this time of the evening. Because she said sometimes I get caught up in emotional, and but I got some stories from the nation, you know? And I mean, if I got 100 of them, 101 of them are all good stories too. And I just love, you know, when I'm amongst people who, and I can talk amongst, you know, but anyway, so, you know, with the suit, I'm like, you know, the minute it started coming off the ground, it was a pandemic. It was those who I thought were cool with me being a Muslim, knowing how I feel, would be like, you know, supportive to what I'm doing to this suit. And it kind of like this suit here, I done fell out with a few family members. Yeah, who, you know, Yeah, I'm to my blood relatives who were in the Nation of Islam with my parents, and you know, they reverted back to Christianity, which, you know, all praise to Allah. You know, that's on them and Allah. But you know, they went crazy for me not to do this, you know, in public. And one of those are so close to me. You know, I mean, it's, you know, same mama, same daddy situation. And I mean, it's on social media, and she expressing how she feel about me doing this. And I left that post up there, you know, and it's like, you know.
But it's brother, you're gonna receive. You just think about it. Inshallah, this coming Sunday with St. Joe's, you know, St. Joseph Day, when all of the masking Indians come out, and the thousands of people who are going to see that suit. And well, who is that man? Who are those people? Who is that? And for people to tell them, oh, that's Master Farrakhan Muhammad, that's Elijah Muhammad, that's Minister Farrakhan, that's Mother Clara. You know, that's another way of bringing people to that teaching. So, you know, and when we do that, you always have some pushback, but that's what it is. They have pushback, and we thank you, brother, for doing that. And as I said, I sent it up to a brother. He told me that he put it in a report to Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If I hear anything back about it, I definitely will let you know. I'll try to find out. And as we get, and I thank you for this interview, as we get ready to close, are there any other words that you want to close out talking about? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. I just want to thank y'all, brother, for even having me on. I mean, this weekend, I mean, I see a lot of people that I know are active members, you know, in the Nation on Diamond right now. I just be, and I know a lot of time when I see y'all at the second lines and at events, like now I'm getting emotional, I'm crying. When I see y'all, I know y'all active members for real, and I just be like, my people. And, you know, I don't want to blow y'all spot up, but y'all just don't know. When I see people from the Nation of Islam, especially off of Diamond Minister, I'm telling you, it's just a different vibe for me. But with this, like, you know, my wife sold this. You know,
Thank your wife, man.
I didn't sow nothing.
Wow.
You know? All I asked my wife was like, who am I sewing? And I'm like, Sister Clara Muhammad. And from there, I mean, it's you know, and this my little boy apron, you know what I'm saying? We had to put it on my little boy.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just an honor, blessing. He must be speaking amongst,
man.
You know,
no, this brother, you have made history, man. And we glad that we had the opportunity to interview you and document it. Give your family the blessings, man. Give your wife the blessings. We thank her for her contribution, and we thank you. And inshallah, man, I'll see you Sunday, my brother.
And one more thing, Minister,
yes, sir.
To the MGTs, see them fish sandwiches and everything. Well, y'all be, but I will be over there at about 3:30 because I'm getting dressed early at the Backstreet Culture Museum, which is now directly across from where y'all will be at.
Yeah. Well, the sound. Yeah, you're right. It's this.
Yeah, this Saturday. That's why I said, and I'm coming out right across the street at the Backstreet Culture Museum.
Gotcha.
So I will be over there to get a few of them sandwiches for me and my people.
Gotcha, my brother. Thank you, man. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. All right.
Thank you, Minister.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
And thank you all for tuning in. And I hope that you enjoyed hearing this culture of the city of New Orleans that our brother is, which is very huge. If you know anybody and you talk about the black masking Indians here in the city of New Orleans, you can research it. For what brother has done, it is very significant and very huge for the culture. And it shows the impact and the reach of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank you for tuning in again to another broadcast of I Have a Testimony. This is your brother Willie Muhammad. Peace.
Go home and study. See, many of you don't study your religion. And you think you're going to attain something without study. But if you believe in something, you need to study it so you can become proficient in what you do. Now watch this. God came to us to seek and to save that which was lost. He raised a man from among us
He, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, laid the foundation. What I'm doing is something that comes from him through me, and the thing that he uses in me to do the work is my faith in him and the word that he taught. To produce men and women who wanted to clean up their life and build an independent nation for the glory of God.